The political assassination of Charlie Kirk has had a profound effect on a spiritual sense. I believe that we are living through a great awakening and a revival in this country, but also from a political sense, it has stiffened the spines of the feckless and weak Republican Party that is typically as frail as wet paper towels. We are starting to see Republicans, especially in law enforcement and in the political arena, step up and say, enough with the political violence, enough with political extremism. We must crush the elements of our society that are celebrating this death, that are encouraging more. And we now must understand what time it is. It's a beautiful thing. I've been speaking with the FBI quite regularly on this case. And they're telling me that we are going to see everything. The FBI assures me that we will know everything about the dark internet history chats and affiliations of Kirk's left-wing political assassin. They're trying to call him right-wing, something we're going to talk about in just a second. The source then alluded to some online groups attempting to delete or destroy evidence. Get ready. We know who they are. We have everything. We are focused. The radicalization element, the truth will not be hidden, buried, or classified. The public will know. So here's what we know so far. We know that the shooter, Tyler Robinson, is a extremist left-winger, that he's a Reddit kid, that he's someone who lived with his transgender boyfriend, who is a male transitioning to female, that he scrawled political iconography on his bullets that was Antifa and also LGBT iconography. Robinson's roommate has turned over all of their electronics to the FBI and has been outed here as an individual named Lance Twiggs. This, of course, follows a spate of transgender shootings, mass shootings, that have all been deadly and horrible. Charlie Kirk assassination, latest shooting committed by trans people and advocates. The neighbors of Charlie Kirk's assassin and his transitioning roommate spoke to the media and said they were wandering outside, dressed in all black with masks on. They were holding hands, kissing, and also there were some very, very, very strange vehicles that were outside of their house. The roommates are describing how out-of-state vehicles with out-of-state license plates went up to the house about a month ago, and that those vehicles were very, very strange. And the Charlie Kirk killer began behaving very erratically and very peculiarly after this. Here's for instance, a high school classmate of Tyler Robinson explaining.
With this Tyler Robinson kid, I'll show y'all. That's him right there, Tyler Robinson. I'm not trying to clout chase, make this shit about me, but I'm not gonna say I knew this kid really well. I didn't know him very well at all, but I definitely saw him for 3 straight years in high school. And the best way I could describe him is just like a Reddit kid. I don't know. I feel like if you were in high school around that same time, and even probably now, 2018, and then those kinds of kids, but that's exactly what he was. All I'm gonna say is this is the kind of shit that happens when you spend way too much time online.
Yes. When you are groomed online by a terrorist organization, which is what this is. This is political terrorism. This is a political assassination. It's backfiring, but we're more involved. New York Post reporting that neighbors saw several people driving cars with out-of-state license plates going in and out of the apartment of Tyler Robinson and his transgender partner, Lance Twiggs, 2 weeks before the Charlie Kirk assassination. Who were they? What other groups may there be involved here? Well, let's jump on over to some reporting here from Axios that says that the administration is now looking into a number of far left-wing groups located in Utah that targeted Charlie Kirk. Breaking, the FBI and state agencies have launched investigations into multiple leftist groups in Utah for possible advanced knowledge of Charlie Kirk's assassination, per Axios. They're also probing whether or not these groups provided material support for the killing. At least one group deactivated their social media pages after the shot was taken. Well, what does that mean exactly? We're not entirely sure, There are, of course, new reports out now of some of Lance Twiggs' family members saying that they hated Christians, they hated Charlie Kirk, they hated conservative values, that Lance Twiggs was filled with hate, and leftist ideology ruled their lives. Family member saying that the boyfriend of Charlie Kirk's assassin had hostility towards anybody supporting conservative or Christian values. So here's one of the groups that has caused quite a bit of attention online. Interesting to see Salt Lake City's Antifa affiliate, militant arm of the Utah Trans Agenda, SLC Armed Queers, nuke their Instagram account. You'll notice here that they also have engraved bullets, just like the engraved bullets that struck Charlie. Remember, there was LGBT messaging on those engraved bullets. There was also furry messaging, transgender messaging, and anti-fascist messaging on those bullets. There's also a pretty stunning and horrifying series of posts from transgender activists who seem to have, at the very least, some type of foreknowledge about the Charlie Kirk assassination. You guys have something very big coming soon. Be sure to check out the news. You'll know when you see it. There's a lot of these. We effing did it, right? These are some transgender accounts. I've been monitoring the FBI analysis, reviewing the reams of GPS data, and there very well may be dozens of co-conspirators. Ladies and gentlemen, the killer made sick jokes online just hours after the shooting. He was on Discord talking and exchanging and getting clapped on the back by his buddies. They have the screenshots of it. Yet Discord denies that he ever used the service. So they need a criminal subpoena immediately and right now. So this thing seems to be blowing open, even Elon Musk saying it's a terror cell. And the extremely moderate governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, saying, no, this is extremist ideology, and confirming the transgender boyfriend once again today on CNN. Again, we will stay on top of this case. It is so important that we live in a peaceful, safe country, and we cannot do that with terrorists, foreign or domestic. Here we go.
You told the Wall Street Journal that it is, quote, very clear to us and to the investigators that this was a person who was deeply indoctrinated with leftist ideology. Can you elaborate on that and be more specific?
Well, sure. So that information comes from the people around him, from his family members and friends. That's how we got that information. Again, there's so much more that we're learning and so much more that we will learn. There will be official charges will be filed on Tuesday, and there will be much more evidence and information available then. And again, we're interviewing all kinds of people, everyone that knows him, and trying to learn more about what that motive actually was.
Well, some outlets are reporting that the suspect lived with a transgender partner. Is that accurate? And are investigators looking at this part of his life as a possible motivation?
Yes, definitely. And yes, I can confirm that. I know that has been reported, and that the FBI has confirmed that as well, that the roommate was a romantic partner, a male transitioning to female. I can say that he has been very cooperative. This partner has been incredibly cooperative, had no idea that this was happening, and is working with investigators right now.
And how is that relevant to the investigation when it comes to the motive? Are you learning that? Sure.
Well, yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out right now. Again, it's easy to draw conclusions from that, and so we've got the shell casings, other forensic evidence that is coming in, and trying to piece all of those things together.
You said that the roommate is being very helpful. Has that individual explain to law enforcement what the mindset of the shooter was and whether or not it is connected to his ideology or his situation as transitioning, as you just described?
I'm not sure about that piece right now, Dana.
Okay, so we're not sure if the fact that he was romantically involved, as you say, with his partner who was transitioning is relevant to the motive of the murder based on the investigation.
Sure. Again, all of these things we're trying to figure it out. I know everybody wants to know exactly why and point the finger, and I totally get that. I do too. And so I just want to be careful, as I haven't read all of the interview transcripts, and so we'll have to wait and see what comes out.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We should all be careful. I guess just because that's out there are a lot of people drawing conclusions, and so I'm just trying to get as many facts as we can glean from you, since you have been involved